Very good morning and welcome to athavannews.com. Today 2nd of December 2015. Paper highlights read by Edward Udedas Tavasagayam Pillai. Now let's move to have a look on today's Daily Mirror. The top story says standby arrangement with IMF in case of Middle East crisis. Ranil. Sri Lanka will enter into a standby arrangement with the International Monetary Fund in case of crisis situation in the Middle East next year as a result of the machination of ISIS terrorists. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe informed Parliament yesterday. And the highlight on Daily Mirror, vote on second reading of budget today. The vote on the second reading of the much hyped maiden budget of the United National Front for Good Governance is to take place today at 5 p.m. President Maithripala Sirisena, who returned to the island yesterday after visiting Malta and Paris, is to be present in Parliament and remain there until the vote ends. It is expected that the President and the Prime Minister will share their views, both the government and the opposition MPs. And the highlight on Daily Mirror says, cash withdrawal levy to promote bank drafts checks. Ravi Karunanayake. Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake said yesterday the budget proposal to impose levy on cash withdrawals was meant to encourage the use of bank drafts and checks instead of over-the-counter cash withdrawals. A 2% charge will be levied on cash withdrawals of 1 million rupees to 10 million rupees and a charge of 3% is to be levied on cash withdrawals of more than 10 million rupees. Bribery case. 3 ex-customs officers released on bail. Former Customs Superintendent Sujiva Paragrama Sinadasa, former Deputy Customs Superintendent Jagat Gunatilaka, former Assistant Customs Superintendent MDUG Pereira, remanded on charges of accepting a bribe of 125 million rupees, were yesterday released on bail by Colombo Chief Magistrate Jihan Pilapitiya. Now let's move to today's daily news. PM tells House no merge of EPF ETF. A final decision will be taken by Cabinet and Parliament. Exploring a standby facility with IMF in view of Middle East situation. The Employees Provident Fund and Employees Trust Fund will not be merged, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe told Parliament yesterday. The fund management will also remain under the central bank, he informed the House. The decisions were taken following requests made by trade union representatives, the Premier said. However, the government will discuss the matter further with all stakeholders of the funds before making a final proposal. AG determines handing over elephants through presidential decree illegal. The Attorney General has made a determination that handing over an elephant to other persons through a presidential decree is illegal and therefore handing over 2 elephant calves to former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa through a presidential sanasa should be investigated due to lack of transparency over their procedure, Senior State Counsel Dileep Peeris informed court yesterday. Senior State Counsel Dileep Peeris, appearing for the AG, told Colombo Chief Magistrate Jigan Pilapitiya that former President Mahinda Rajapaksa handed over 2 elephant calves to former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa through a presidential sanasa. He told court that some elephants handed over through a presidential sanasa had gone missing and it has to be probed. He further stated that the former Defence Secretary had made a request on January 16, 2015 from the Wildlife Department that his 2 elephant calves be registered, but the department had rejected it. SSC Peeris told court that Rajapaksa had only tendered a copy of the presidential sanasa when the documents were tendered for registration. He said irregularities which have taken place in this regard should be investigated. He further said that concerned presidential sanasa had been issued by the former president on January 10, 2014. Meanwhile, the Senior State Counsel further told that legal action would be definitely taken against 11 persons including Venerable Uduwe Damaloga Dera, Venerable Kolannava Sumangala Dera and Magistrate Thilina Gamage for illegal possession of elephants. Another news with a picture says, bus falls 80 feet into house. 7 injured. 17 passengers including 13 women and 4 men were injured when the bus they were travelling in toppled and fell into a house 80 feet below in Kandy. Among the injured were 2 foreign women. The bus travelling to Vatapuluva and met with the accident at the Arapala Maha Wangua. The injured, including the bus driver, were admitted to the Kandy hospital. The 2 tourists are from Germany and Canada. The house was damaged in the accident. Kandy police are investigating. Chandrika advocates special court on missing persons and war crimes. Former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga yesterday said that reconciliation cannot happen without accepting the mistakes of the past and the injustices committed to minorities. Former President Kumaratunga was addressing the press as the head of the Office for National Unity and Reconciliation appointed by President Maithripala Sirisena. Lawyers expressed dissatisfaction. The Lawyers Association at the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court and the Colombo High Court have unanimously decided to launch a protest against the decision of the Galle High Court to file a charge sheet against former Solicitor General Riyansi Arsakularatna as his mobile phone allegedly rang in the courtroom. The Lawyers Association have decided to stage a protest on Thursday outside the Magistrates Court premises unless the matter was settled by the relevant parties. Now let's have a look on Ceylon today. The top story says Ranil warns Middle East instability could affect Sri Lanka. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe yesterday warned that ISIS actions could trigger economic stability in the Middle East in 2016 with adverse repercussion on Sri Lanka's economy emerging from it. And the highlight says losses incurred by SLTB. Ranjan takes on Velegama. Deputy Minister of Foreign Employment Ranjan Ramanayaka and Deputy Minister of Transport Ashoka Abesinghe yesterday lodged a complaint with the Commission of Investigate allegations of bribery or corruption regarding a loss of a sum of 2.86 billion rupees sustained by the Sri Lanka Transport Board allegedly due to the actions of former Minister of Transport Kumara Velegama. Ramadasa demands Dono to arm Sri Lanka. A day after Army Chief General Dalip Singh Sugar left for Sri Lanka to review bilateral defence ties, PMK leader Ramadasa yesterday said the visit was a matter of concern and wanted the centre to declare a policy that it would never provide arms and military aids to the island nation. Mahinda Rajapaksa gifting baby jumbos to Gota. Mahinda Rajapaksa gifting baby jumbos to Gota. CID begins full probe. The Attorney General yesterday informed Colombo Chief Magistrate Jigan Pilapitiya that the Criminal Investigation Department had launched a full-scale investigation into how two baby tuskers had been provided to former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa by former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. With that, we conclude today's paper highlights and we will come with more news tomorrow morning. Thanks for listening to AthavanNews.com.